Hey, good morning, everyone. Today's Thursday, May 28th, and it's 9:45. Oh, 9:47. Sorry, I'm 2 minutes late. This is our Facebook Live devotional for today. I don't see the timer. It's just like going 000, so I'm assuming we're on. It says live. So, anyways, hey, thanks for joining. There's a handful of people that often join for the live, and then there's many others that join throughout the day. So go ahead and make some comments. Let us know you're here, and if I'm able to comment back, I will try. Oh, hi, Karen. Good morning. I always think that your Facebook profile picture is like flowers, but you told me they were cupcakes. They must be cupcakes that look like flowers. Anyways, today I went to Starbucks before coming here, and the one I went to, actually the indoor, you can go in now and walk in. There's no place to sit, but before you had to wait outside if you ordered on your phone, or you could go through the drive-through. So things are opening up little by little. But good morning, Bonnie. Are you going to drop into the church sometime soon? Um, Things are opening up little by little, but don't forget. I think maybe in my family it's true. So it's true in my family. Maybe it's true for you too. But we don't wash our hands as often as we used to when coronavirus first was news. So don't forget, social distancing protocols are still in place, and wash your hands a lot. The coronavirus is still here. We aren't getting any new cases. We haven't had any for many days, but there's no vaccine yet. So continue with your great Hygiene Manitoba. We are doing awesome. We had a music team come together last night and practice in the building, but they kept 2 meters apart and they washed their hands as soon as they came in, and it was only a handful of people, and so we are well under the number for indoors. But anyways, we want to keep doing that, and and I think the more we do this, the sooner we can have all the restrictions lifted. I'm looking forward to having the sports restrictions completely lifted, because my kids are wanting to get out and do some more activities and team sports and stuff. And so, anyways, that will be happening soon. But I went to Starbucks. I mean, I guess it's kind of becoming a little more of a habit for me. Um, and I've noticed I like to do that in the morning. I can make coffee. I've got a nice coffee maker right here. I've got two ways. I've got a AeroPress and also this coffee siphon. I've got my own coffee here, but sometimes I just feel I want a little drive in the morning and to listen to, sometimes it's CHVN or some other music or a devotional that I have on my app, and it helps me. And I often find I do this when I'm feeling a little bit anxious or stressed because I have way too much to do. At least that's how I felt earlier this morning. I have just way too much to do. And tomorrow, I feel like I'm supposed to take a day off, and that's how it feels. It feels like supposed to. But I'm working hard to keep a 24-hour period open and free and following God's plan at creation and all through it. I know it's just not good for us, anyways, right? To be running around all the time. So it helps me know that if I'm not going to do any work tomorrow, then I need to work hard, right, during the rest of the week. And then you can really enjoy that day of rest. But there's things I need to get done at home. We have some mudders coming in because last year we had a flood leaking in our basement. So we're getting the walls finished up. I have things to do for our district. I've got all these papers that I have to mark for ordination council. I've got to get ready for this weekend yet, on Sunday, and there's some appointments that I'm looking forward to having with people today too. So it just feels like too much. But when that happens, um, what helps me is to, I'm tempted to not spend time praying or spend time reading the Bible when that's actually the best thing that I need to do. Because often when I pray, I find that work gets done. Like that becomes the ministry. When I pray about things, when I just leave my requests and needs and cares before God, sometimes He just takes care of them. And then you follow up on something and you realize it's much smoother than it would have been before, or it was taken care of somehow. So remembering prayer is the work, prayer is the ministry, and I can't neglect that. So that's one of the things. I just make sure that I do spend, even though I feel I don't have time. And the other thing is sometimes I just make a list Okay, just write down exactly the things that I need to get done. And often when I do that, I look at the list and I think, well, that one's 5 minutes. This one won't take very long. These two kind of, I can do at the same time. And then I realize it's not as overwhelming as I once thought once I kind of put it down. So I don't know if that helps you guys or not. But the other thing that's been helping me today is the Christian calendar. And you've heard me talk about this before. I think it really helps us develop rhythms in our life, in our yearly life through seasons and things. And so we have other calendars. We have consumerist calendars. People, different times of the year, they want us to buy lots of flowers or lots of chocolates, or there's sales on. And then even seasons with changing outfits. Now there's summer sales and all sorts of different sales on. There's different kinds of calendars and different kind of rhythms we get into. If you're a sports fan, there's different rhythms for that too. When the season ends, and then you look forward to the draft, and you look forward to preseason and everything. And so, but for Christians, there's the church has put together a calendar they've used for centuries. And so last week we celebrated Ascension, and this happened 40 days, according to the scriptures, 40 days after Jesus came back to life, and he spent time eating and hanging out with his followers, and then he ascended to be at the right hand of his Father in heaven. That was last week. And then 10 days later, that was last Thursday, but we celebrated it on Sunday. And then 10 days after that, according to the scriptures, then was the day of Pentecost. And on that day, on that particular day of Pentecost, was when the Holy Spirit came down in all its power. And people were heard speaking in many different languages. Peter preached a message and explained to people that this Jesus whom you just crucified was actually the Messiah. And then they were cut to the heart, and 3,000 people became believers. And then every day the Lord added more and more believers. And so this is an in-between time. In between, there's like a waiting. Here's Ascension, and Jesus said, go wait for the gift that I promised. And so we're in this waiting time. And then the day of Pentecost, when the Holy Spirit is given. And basically that's what we say, that's the birthday of the church. There was no church before that. The Holy Spirit came, and Jesus said, you will do greater things than me, and you will have the Spirit indwelt within you. So now Jesus is everywhere. He's not physically, walking down the roads of Jerusalem. He can be all over the place. And so that's been encouraging to me. Those last words at the end of Matthew, when Jesus said, I'll read it exactly in the NIV version. There was 11 of them at that time, because Judas was no more. And so the 11, they went to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. And then Jesus said to them, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. And we see that in his ascension. He's on the throne of the universe. He is the King of Kings. Okay, so Jesus said, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And then he says at the end, and surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. This is the promise. Jesus is always with us. And so he's with me today in the midst of what I think is going to be a hectic day. For him, it's nothing. He's not all nervous like I am. He's very relaxed. He knows that he's going to accomplish his purposes, and there's nothing that can get in the way. And so I like to rest in that. I like to pray about each event, each thing that I feel I need to get done, cast my cares on him, and then work hard to accomplish them, but realizing Jesus is with me. His Holy Spirit indwells in me. This is a mystery of the hope of glory. It's Christ in us. And so whatever God has called me to do, he will give me the strength to do. And so having a little bit of time before sitting down at my desk, just had that drive over to Starbucks, and then the drive back, and then just kind of settling my thoughts, making a list, and praying about that is very helpful for me. So I hope it's helpful for you. Maybe you're not feeling the same way that I am today, but either way, Matthew chapter 28 verse 20, Jesus is with you today, whatever you're going through. And it's helpful often to just pull back a little bit. Okay, Jesus, you've promised that you're here. I don't see you. I don't feel you. You can just ask him, where are you? Please reveal yourself, and let him empower you. Don't try to do things on your own strength. The Holy Spirit will empower you. And so Anyways, this Sunday will be Pentecost Sunday, and we're looking forward to celebrating the birth of the church, the gift of the Holy Spirit. So thanks for joining us. But before I go, there's two things I want to say. A little bit later, you'll be getting Three Things Thursday. There's a trivia question, and so please answer that. We'll be giving away a prize again, $5 gift card for a local business here. We want to support local businesses as they're starting up and helping them get off their feet and hiring their employees. And then secondly, I'd like to hear from you, and I think we would all like to hear from each other. And so is there something you've been reading in your devotional reading, or something you've been praying about, and a way that God has been strengthening you, encouraging you, or maybe an answer to prayer? Would you be willing to share that with us at this devotional time? I would love it. Pastor Sam does Tuesday, and I can do Wednesday, and then maybe one of you could share just a little bit, even if it's 1 minute or 30 seconds on Thursday. You don't need Facebook Live, and if you're watching on Facebook, obviously you have Facebook, but if you don't, it's fine. I'll send you a Zoom link, and then we can talk to each other over Zoom, and it goes right to Facebook Live. But I think it's encouraging as we talk to each other and share with each other about how we've been reading, how we've been learning, and how God has been teaching us. So do you have anything? I'd love to hear from you. Email me, and then and let's share with each other how God is speaking to all of us. Okay, so watch out for that email later today, and I'll see you Sunday. Well, actually, you'll see me Sunday. I wish I could see you Sunday, but one day. Okay, thanks. Bye.